Hi there. Thanks for joining us for Together. I'm Karen Leigh. I hope you're ready to sit back, relax, and enjoy a little good news to lift your spirits as we wrap up this week. For the next 30 minutes, I'll share stories that will hopefully not only inspire you, but at the very least, make you feel good about where you live and the people that live around you. Some amazing things are taking place every day in every neighborhood. We can't help but feel bad for those impacted by the government shutdown. It's taken a toll on many families in our state. But in this time of struggle, Coloradans are doing what they do best, coming together for one another. Jeff Todd introduces us to one furloughed worker who is using the shutdown as an opportunity to serve others and give back.
Government employees have been turning up to the Action Center in Jefferson County for help during the government shutdown.
We're kind of stuck and there's really not much we can do.
And some of those furloughed workers have also been heading to the Action Center to volunteer. Justin Wright is one of them.
Felt like I needed to get out and help do something.
What convinced him to help out this organization? That's next on Together.
Well, if you have a sweet tooth, I have the perfect treat for you. They are called Kayleighs Cupcakes. Buy one of them and you'll be coming together for Colorado. Too good to be true, it is not. Michael Obeda explains.
I have been a patient at Children's Hospital for as long as I can remember.
Kayleigh McGill wanted to thank her doctors and nurses.
I need to give back as much as they've given to me.
And Kayleigh is doing just that with these cupcakes. Once a month, they went on sale at King Soopers and City Market stores. All of the proceeds benefit Children's Hospital.
I'm really thankful for all my supporters. So if you supported me, thank you.
How much money Kayleigh's Cupcakes raised, that's later on Together.
I just love her. Well, this Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day to reflect on the life and legacy of Dr. King and his spirit of service. Jamie Leary attended an MLK dinner that would have made Dr. King proud.
This is more than a dinner. It's a celebration. And 8-year-old Mia Garcia is happy to be part of it.
I would consider myself lucky to be here.
She's serving up food and smiles.
I'm working so hard because I want everybody to enjoy it.
The important lesson Mia is learning from her time as a volunteer. That's coming up on Together.
Well, sometimes we think doing something for others has to be big, but it doesn't. It just needs to be kind. 2 women are coming together for Colorado step by step. They have set up sock drawers in 16 schools in the Denver metro area. That way, any kid who needs a new clean pair can get one. Kathy Walsh met these sock ladies and learned more about their inspiration.
Thank you for calling Monarch Montessori. This is Mia.
Tucked behind the reception desk at Monarch Montessori of Denver Charter, you'll see a nondescript plastic cart.
This is our sock donation drawer.
It's not something you see at every school, but Monarch is exceptional. 78% of the students here qualify for free or reduced lunch. Many of their families struggle to make ends meet. Gina Macias has seen children come to school without warm coats or hats, and some without socks.
It was really sad. Really, never would I imagine seeing a child without socks, you know, and that made me realize that we had to do something. I had to do something.
So the assistant teacher did some research, and the sock ladies came to the rescue.
We're making a social impact, one pair of socks at a time.
We are Phyllis Shimamoto and Sue Lee, founders of the Sock It To 'Em Sock campaign. Its inception is an interesting yarn. Sue says in 2011 she got a sign.
Just like that, printed in my head, yellow letters with red outline. It said Sock It To 'Em Sock campaign, socks for the homeless.
And I said, sure, let's do it.
The first year, they collected 575 new pairs of socks. They took them to homeless shelters and learned something.
Socks were the most requested item least donated.
They wear out faster than any other article of clothing.
The Need became a nonprofit. There are now sock ambassadors in 41 states. The campaign boasts 430,000 socks and counting. And in 2017, the ladies started putting these sock drawers in schools.
Socks make all the difference in the world. When you're walking to school, when you're in school, you can't do a gym class without a pair of socks.
Monarch Montessori is one of 16 schools with a sock drawer. Any child can stop by and quietly pick out a free pair of socks.
So for these kids, some walk to school, some don't have the best shoes, and so that makes a big impact for them. So socks are, I think, a big piece that sometimes we do forget.
And receptionist Mia Brunson sees lots of smiles when students choose.
Some have characters, and so they're excited to see those, so they get fun socks, not just, regular old socks, which I think is more important to kids than adults.
7 years collecting hundreds of thousands of socks is quite a feat, but the sock ladies show no signs of slowing down.
As long as there is a need, we're going to keep going.
Who doesn't like some animals on your socks? Well, if you feel inspired to pitch in and donate some socks or to become a sock ambassador, you'll find what you need at CBSDenver.com. President Trump announced a plan to temporarily end the government shutdown until February 15th. Now, while the shutdown was going on, we saw plenty of people pitching in to help one another. But what about the smaller members of the family, like the pets? They too needed a little help. That's where the Colorado Pet Pantry comes in. It provides free pet food to those in need every other month. James Lamb works for the Bureau of Land Management and hadn't been paid in weeks. Jewish Family Services is helping feed his family, and the Pet Pantry is helping feed his furry friends. If it weren't for their help, James says that he'd be desperate.
It's amazing what they're doing for people in the community. The community's coming together, and everybody's going to make it through this.
Yeah, they sure are. The Action Center has also been coming together to help those federal employees. The nonprofit in Jefferson County serves people who are facing hardships by offering utility assistance, food, clothes. They rely on the help of hundreds of volunteers to make that happen. And since the government shutdown, they've noticed some of their newest volunteers are those furloughed employees themselves. Jeff Todd and photojournalist Robert Gadecki interviewed one of those furloughed workers who decided the best thing to do with his time off was to give back.
Justin Wright says he just got tired of sitting around his house.
Felt like I needed to get out and help do something.
This is his first day volunteering at the Action Center.
Yeah, I'm just putting them all in one bin.
This is very different than his normal job as a computer programmer for the U.S. Geological Survey.
I helped stock up the cooler a little bit, and then mostly just helping with people who are driving up and dropping off donations and just unloading it and then kind of sorting it out and putting it where it needs to go.
He says the rules around taking a job during the shutdown are murky, so he's filling his time helping.
Everybody else is just like me, and you kind of wish you could just go back to work, but we're kind of stuck, and there's really not much we can do.
The Action Center has a food pantry, clothing, and helps connect people with other community resources. They've opened their doors to federal employees, but in the past week, about 5 furloughed workers have become volunteers.
It's just nice to be out and be making a difference, and helping out wherever I can. I'm hoping to come in regularly until I hear something different about the whole shutdown.
All right, Jeff Todd joins us now. We like Justin so much and liked his desire to serve others. It was just beautiful. How did he find out about the Action Center?
So the government shutdown kind of goes back before the holidays. He said he really enjoyed the holidays, and then after that he was just sitting around. He'd go for a run every day, but really had nothing to do. So he pulled up to his computer and Googled places to volunteer in Lakewood. He found the Action Center, shot them an email, and they quickly responded because they're always looking for new volunteers. And he said a day later, there he was, moving those bags around full of clothes and moving food around and just generally helping people out.
How did he say it made him feel to be there and to be able to do something else?
It definitely made an impact. We talked to the Action Center, and they said that Justin and there was another furloughed worker actually came back several times to continue to volunteer. So obviously not just something that took up his time while he was away from work, but really did make him feel good.
Yeah, we still don't know what's going to happen with the government shutdown. We know they're going to be back for a little bit, but he might be back there needing to do some more.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens at the Action Center. They're always looking for more volunteers. Every year they get about 4,000 people showing up, donating about 100,000 hours of time, but they always need more help.
Yeah, and they do so much. Jeff, thank you so much for highlighting that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Well, this week's snow was much needed in Colorado, but at a horse rescue on the Eastern Plains, it's been too much of a good thing. Why the snow has put the animals at risk and how you can come to the rescue.
Together with Karen Leigh, sponsored by Canvas Credit Union. We're Canvas, and we've got you covered, Colorado. Go live.
Some horses on the Eastern Plains have too much snow to get through. The Next Step Horse Rescue in Ellicott helps animals that have been abused. But right now, huge snow drifts make it impossible for the horses to get to their food and to their exercise areas. Not only that, the snow itself can actually hurt their hooves.
That puts pressure up onto their feet and can bruise their feet. And it causes damage if they're on it on a long period. So we have to get this out.
Now, the Horse Rescue is doing the best that they can to try and dig out, but they sure could use some of your muscle. They're hoping for volunteers or donations. They could use small bales of hay, sand to build up the inside of the stables, and volunteers with heavy machinery to help move and push some of that snow out of the way. So if you would like to help out, you'll find their phone number at our website, CBSDenver.com. All right, meteorologist Dave Aguilera joins us now, and we've been talking about how much snow we've received in some areas. It's truly been a winter wonderland.
It certainly has, and you know, the snow causes problems like for the horses and driving and everything, but it is still a lot of fun to play in. Take a look at this shot. Brett Heiserling sent this in. This is Nolan Heiserling's first ever snowman. Take a look at that. The cuteness scale off the charts.
I know, I love that.
There's a little fireman hat on top of that snowman, so he's doing double duty, snowman and fireman there. Now, I'm going to play a little catch up here. We've had a ton of pictures, great ones from Rocky Mountain National Park, so we're going to go back to December and October. I just want to get these in. Eddie Camarena sent this in, and what a beautiful shot. Doesn't even look real.
No, it's gorgeous. I know.
And he
makes you want to go visit.
He added that little Colorado flag in there, too.
Yeah, I love it.
Adds a little excitement there. Erica Cooper and her family were up there in December as well. And if you look in the background, not a lot of snow on those evergreens back there. But they are all covered right now with all the snow that we've had the last couple of days. And here's one shot from Bear Lake up there. Helen and Derek Escobar were up in Estes Park in October, right when the snow started to fly up there. Helen and Derek look awesome in their flannel up there around Bear Lake. What a beautiful shot.
And we are so lucky to have so many gorgeous places as just to walk out our backyard.
A lot of places to go, and even in the wintertime, you know, you just hear about going to the mountains for skiing. You could go up for sightseeing, too.
Anytime. It's awesome. Dave, thank you for those pictures. And please send us your photos out in the snow. We want to see your family, your pets. You can email us directly or post them on social media using the hashtag #4Colorado. I look forward to seeing your photos and then sharing them right here on Together. You can email me directly as well. Well, one thing we've learned on the show is that anyone, any age, can make an impact and change the lives of others. Colorado kids are impressive, and I love shining a light on them in this show. Take Kayleigh there, for example, how her sweet treats are helping other children just like her. Coming up on this week's Together for Colorado calendar. Tuesday, learn more about becoming a mentor at the National Mentoring Month celebration. It's in Loveland. Friday, it's the annual father and daughter ball at the Highlands Ranch Mansion. And Saturday, enjoy a day of delicious chocolate therapy in Old Town Arvada. A chocolate affair benefits the Ralston House Child Advocacy Center. For more information on these and other events, head to the Together for Colorado section of CBSDenver.com. Well, Kayleigh McGill is not your ordinary kid. She's a baker, entrepreneur, a young lady eager to come together to help Children's Hospital Colorado. She's doing it by just being her, but also by cooking up some cupcakes. Michael Abeda shares how she might be little, but her heart is huge.
Go right ahead, girl.
Sugar fans might cringe to see such a lovely cupcake hit the wall. But this game of cupcake toss isn't the only thing Kayleigh McGill does with her treats.
I love baking them. Me and my mom would bake them and we would bring them to events.
And it was at one of these events where Kayleigh met the man that would take her love for giving to a whole new level.
Kayleigh was up there talking about how her mom and her would bake the cupcakes and bring them to the hospital and give them to the kids, and how she was trying to give back. And it came to us immediately that, hey, we've got a bakery plant, we've got a stores, we have an opportunity where we could connect with Kayleigh and really do something magical.
Dennis Gibson is the president of King Soopers. He got together with Kayleigh and started selling her cupcakes in all of his stores in the Denver area. 100% of the proceeds went to Children's Hospital.
Well, 150,000 cupcakes in this period of time, so that's pretty amazing.
And more amazing is the $60,000 raised. Kayleigh's cupcake fundraiser is over. But now it's got her thinking.
I really want to start my own charity, so you haven't seen the last of me.
No doubt we're going to see more of Kayleigh. Well, it's an annual Denver tradition, and clear skies helped make this year's MLK Day Parade a huge success. We're going to take you into the middle of this celebration. That's next on Together. Catch the latest episodes of Together, as well as your favorite Together for Colorado stories anytime at CBSDenver.com. This past Monday, Coloradans took time to stop and reflect on the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And part of remembering Dr. King includes honoring his dedication to service. That's why 250 Kaiser Permanente employees spent the MLK holiday volunteering at more than a dozen nonprofits. We joined some of those volunteers who were helping improve the lives of children with emotional and behavioral challenges. They were at Mount St. Vincent sprucing up the place. Some volunteers cleaning, others painting. All of them say they are proud to honor Dr. King's vision.
Today is the day for service for others, and you cannot just sit on your couch or while you're skiing and hope for the world to change. You have to do something.
That's right. Words to live by. This was the 15th year that Kaiser has made MLK Day a day of service for its employees. Meanwhile, at the Volunteers of America, it's a tradition to host an MLK dinner. For 34 years, hundreds of people have been coming together to share some food, but it wouldn't be possible without some help. Jamie Leary and photojournalist Jeremiah Belisle met one of the youngest volunteers who was thrilled that she could honor Dr. King's spirit of service.
There's so many people. The tables are close together. It's a tight squeeze.
This is a fast-paced day for 8-year-old Mia Garcia.
And I had to go back and forth, back and forth.
She takes her role as a volunteer very seriously.
I'm working so hard because I want everybody to enjoy it.
In her eyes, today is about making everyone feel equal.
There's a lot of people living on the street that need like a home and shelter and food.
Mia's mother has been volunteering at this dinner for the last 15 years.
We enjoy it. We love working with the community.
She believes it's important for her family to be here too, but she doesn't have to explain this to Mia.
I felt like I had to do something to make this world like it's a better place.
Even something simple.
A lot of people just need a smile to brighten up their day.
It's a sentiment that seems common among many of the volunteers. Maybe it's the spirit of the day, or maybe it's Mia's attitude catching on.
I would consider myself lucky to be here because I just love seeing people. I just love this job, just helping people have something.
And we are so lucky to have you. So thank you for your service. And thank you for joining us on Together. Before we go, I want to share one more celebration of Dr. King with you. Denver's Parade is one of the largest MLK Day events in the country, something to be proud of. Photojournalist Eddie Castro takes us there. I hope you enjoy.